I think the creative process is not one that is easy to train or easy to practice in normal day-to-day life. I think also that creative process is not built in to the education experiences most of us have growing up. We have these experts, and yet they've gone through experiences that sometimes have systematically placed them into boxes, thought models. And then we say, okay, now that you've got all that, now be creative.
I believe that we're coming back around to the power of humanity and the power of our own creativity. And we've so historically separated it from science and art, and to bring it back together and better value the superpowers we all bring to the table is so exciting. And I think that in part is why we've been called upon more and more to come to the table, to talk about problem solving around critical materials and healthcare, urban planning and community development. It is within that coming together that I believe will ultimately solve the challenges we face in this generation.
Through the NSF Engines program and the Tech Hubs program, we have this critical materials crossroads. We've got vaccine manufacturers, and we have researchers who are developing new immunotherapy, and we have some startups that are doing interesting things in like the biologics development space. And then we've got a really robust creative sector here too. So it's like, how do we bring that sector to bear on these initiatives, or can we come up with kind of particular interventions that would actually incentivize artists to participate in various points of the process? You actually also want better research and better products out in the marketplace and things for people's lives, and the hope is that incorporating creative perspectives can do that. And that's kind of how we measure our success as an organization. We bring a lot of people together in the hopes that bringing together yields new things, and it usually does.
We have to, in Kansas City, start thinking in exponential terms. If we don't, we'll be left behind. Casey Diddle Drive has the prescience to see that we have to really start changing our way of thinking. We have to unite not only just the scientists, but the artists and philosophers together to start thinking less in a linear fashion and start thinking in a more of a logarithmic or exponential fashion, because that's the age in which we live right now. And I think this is a good first step to get there.
We can all, based on our own education and our background, get tunnel vision sometimes when we're looking at problems. When we get the creatives at the table, engage in the conversation, we'll find different questions, different things we want to explore, different challenges. It would be really helpful to use the expertise to find out how we engage broadly beyond just the people involved in the work itself, because we need to be able to reach out to the entire community so that even if you're not directly going to be working at the mine or at the processing plant, that this economic development would impact you in some ways. And so how do we ensure that everyone has a say in the process, and how we envision the region developing around these assets that we already have?
My background is communication, so I'm always thinking about how can we tell the story better and how can we translate information. But a broader idea that came out of here creatively was, how do we create a library of experiences that we don't all understand if we're not in it? So it could be sensory challenges. How can we really understand what that looks like and feels like without internet, without healthcare, reentry after being incarcerated? But I think this concept of how do we build empathy and finding solutions, I think is such a critical foundation for us all achieving what we want.
For me, it's just the act of convening and the act of building community and familiarity and respect and the openness to really listen and learn. Those are all big steps forward, first steps forward. And there's a long journey ahead. There's a lot of good work to do, but I think it is the way we're going to be able to move forward faster.